Big box PC game collecting. That's what we're talking with Pascal, the big box PC game collector. He's the guy that knows it all, and he's the guy that's going to teach all of it to us. In this part of the video, we're going to go over Pascal's holy grail of PC game collecting. So let's get started. The holy grail of non-adventure big box games. What's the first thing that you're going to click and search for on eBay?
One of them, so if it goes to me and what I'm still looking for, and one of them is definitely very pricey and shows up, would be an original Doom mail order copy.
Okay.
I have a few of them in my collection already, and I can share that with you already. So we're talking about this one, this slim
okay
box.
And we got a John
Romero signature on that one when I've met him a few years ago here in Germany. So I have a few of these. Those are highly demanded, but not super rare. So they show up here and there all the time. A good condition box is a hard thing because it's very prone to damage again, super thin box. And so if you find one on 25-inch discs, this is the holy grail to go for, because not very aware of that it existed, and because the 3.5-inch discs are the major ones. So if you find one on the big floppy disk, this is one of the holy grail. It can easily go to between $3,000 and $5,000.
And we're talking the full game.
Yes, a box. The box, of course, has to be in good shape. It has to come with the manual and the additional leaflets and the discs, of course. It's a big plus if the discs are still working. Sometimes the seller shows that on an old machine. It's only 4, or in terms of the big floppies, it's 5 discs included. So if those are working, which is sometimes a plus. If you find that one, nice condition, including the big floppy disk from back then, this is one of the. Don't try to find one today. Those show up like, I don't know, one every 2 to 3 years or so. So this is very rare.
Let's talk about some rare non-adventure game, big box games that are out there that you could think off the top of your head that just would blow people's minds.
So if we talk about valuable games, rare games, and you mentioned already the first-person shooter sector, which is a highly collectible niche in that genre, because back then in the 90s and so, this was so dominant. Adventure games were dominant at one time, and then when Doom came, or Wolfenstein 3D, but Doom was the game changer there. Everything more or less switched into that action market and first-person shooter market. And of course, if you go through all the games which were known back then from the first-person shooter genre, and then you want to have a first release of those game series in a nice, maybe sealed copy even, you definitely have always to bring a couple of $100, if not a few $1,000 to get one of those. So if you find a Wolfenstein 3D first release copy in a big box, if you find a Doom, I can share one with you later. I have it here on my table. If you Doom, Heretic, Blood, Unreal, all those shooter series, if you go into those, they are heavily demanded. Some of them are pretty often on eBay, but many sellers these days try to get big money out of that and offering them not in auctions, but put online, buy it now options, and already entered like $600, $700, $800 or so. So if you now go to eBay, look for Wolfenstein 3D, you definitely find 3 to 5 copies online, and you can get one if you have like $600 to $800 in your pockets. So finding one of those complete first releases is definitely, we discuss those a lot in the groups. So people are heavily looking for those.
And big reminder, big tip is, even though you get a first release box, make sure once again that you look and make sure all of the inserts are correct. All right. So what's a couple other games off the top of your head that would blow up our skirts, if you will?
So as we said earlier, it depends on what you're really looking for. If you just want widely discuss a thing, If you stick to the first games of game series most of the time, you are definitely at the right spot to find something rare or something pricey. That can be tricky sometimes. One example would be System Shock, which is an awesome
Yes.
RPG game series, one of the best, 10 out of 10 points, definitely. And in that case, yes, the boxes are a bit expensive, not that expensive, but a bit expensive. But in that case, System Shock 2, System Shock 2 is the more demanded box in that case. So if you go online and look for System Shock, it is easier to find the first game and cheaper than the second game for some reason. So maybe they didn't sold so many copies of the second game or whatever. So a US copy, System Shock 2, definitely costs more than System Shock 1. This sometimes happens. We do not want to talk about adventure games that much today, but there are some examples in there as well in the market where a re-release, Gold Rush is an example from Sierra, which was, I think, 89, firstly released by Sierra. The brothers who developed that game, they re-released it 10 years later, close to 10 years later, because they founded their own company and they got the publishing rights for Gold Rush, and they sold the game by their website in an envelope edition or in a wooden box. And if you find that wooden box today, this is like X times much more expensive than a Gold Rush originally from Sierra, which easily hits 100 plus something these days. But so sometimes a re-release can be more expensive simply because there was a lower number of boxes put out there, or it was a special edition only available via a website or so.